I can't see you. You're not there.
No, I'm behind. I'm behind today's topic.
Oh. Hey, there you are.
We're talking about
What
these
a way
guys
to start the
today.
show.
There we
You
go.
might as well just roll into it. I'm eating
Yeah.
beef jerky. I got coffee. How's that for breakfast?
That sounds like a highway.
There's that man's face, the nice man over there.
As I clap next to my microphone.
Yeah. And remember, you point. And remember,
it took so long to get going. I'm already out of coffee.
I know. I woke up late. I was up late last night making molds and everything. I hope nobody has. I got a glitch here on my camera. You can see it kind of blah. My lighting is shot, and I lost my earbuds, so I have to listen to my outside stereo. What do they call those? Oh, speakers.
Speakers, yes.
So whenever we talk over each other, one of us will cancel each other out. So this should be a fun show. Actually, but the funny thing is, BG, I got to tell you, before we really launch this thing, first of all, I would be to point to where you think I'm at. Let's get that settled.
On my monitor, you're over there.
Yes, it works. That's perfect.
All right, cool.
You're always right there. I probably am more prepared for this one than ever before. And I'll probably screw it all up.
That's awesome, since, first time in a year.
But yeah, well, heck, let's kick this thing. Let's
kick this mule.
Let's launch it right now. So, how do we do it? It's been so long.
It's been so long. Maybe it's time for a new beginning.
Nah.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Oh, I'm over that. All right. So.
Nah.
Hey, everybody.
What's going on, folks?
This is BG.
And that's Luka Cee.
And we are
the Model Car Guys on the YouTubes. That's my German.
Nice. The Germans.
The Germans, yeah.
Deutsch.
Not to be offensive to anybody, but yeah.
And actually, I'm going to have to toot my own horn, tap my own back.
Oh, there you go.
Most of the time, the fantastic ideas for the show, the subjects, is usually that man right there. That's why I wear his hat. That's the true, driving force of this show, the creativity of the show. When the program director is out of town, this is the guy that really takes the horn by the ball, horn by the bull.
It takes the cow by the bowl cut, yeah.
Mr. BG, but I came up with this subject. I got this idea the other night that went blang, and I texted BG, and he said, "Well, yeah,
that sounds
but
great.
We're not going to change tradition here. I'm going to shut up for a half a second, and I want you, BG, to announce what today's subject is," which I think everybody kind of knows already, but what the heck?
Right. If you saw the thumbnail, today's topic is going to be, give me a couple of minutes. I'm having, that's the wrong text. Sorry. Today's topic is those traditional hot rods.
And those late 20s, early 30s hot rods, right?
Right. So we were talking about this yesterday, and I was like, you know what? When somebody mentions the word hot rod, it's this car.
Yes,
is a hot rod. We know. I know that's an all-encompassing word for the genre of modified cars and of that particular era. But I'm like that. This is what the word was coined for. Was this particular?
Yeah, and sort of this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely that one too.
But of course, everybody always thinks of the venerable 32.
Yeah, the 32. Well, was the 32 the last of that particular body style, and it went on to be a little more swoopy and curvy and
and
stuff?
You still had the separate fenders, that were, I don't know what you call it before you got into the fat fenders. What would technically be the fat fender era? See, I don't know this.
So you talk to Dave Bell.
Yeah, Dave Bell would be our man, but because he was a young adult in the 30s. So it means he's old. I am not enriched in car facts and all the knowledge from those years, and not really that much into it. So in the comments below, I know there's a lot of you guys out there that really know the hot rod stuff. By all means, man, and don't slam us for being incorrect. Just we want to hear you down in the comments. If you get anything wrong, let us know. I mean, we want to know. This is all to knowledge each other. We want to get knowledge aided, right?
We're here to learn.
We're here to learn.
We're here to get answers questioned or question. No, wait, that's the other way around. No, that's how YouTube works. To get your answers questioned. But yeah, we're here to learn. And when it comes to this particular genre, the hot rod world, you have to get past the eye candy, then you get into the actual how they're built. What are you done to them? The modifications that can be made, boxing frames, all that kind of stuff. Do you box a frame? Do you keep it? If you want to keep it original, that kind of a thing. So I know it's a safety thing, but some guys do it and some guys don't. There's one guy out there I have to give a shout out to. His name is Ron Stewart. He is a hot rod builder from back in the day, and he's got a kind of a fun channel. He talks a lot about what he's working on, and he's got some awesome builds, as a matter of fact, that he shows once in a while. And he does a lot of scratch building. I've actually emailed him back and forth about how to do tube chassis and frames and stuff like that.
And he builds real ones, or he used
to build real ones. I think he still dabbles in that here and there, but he goes to car shows. I believe he's in Nebraska, so he goes to car shows and stuff out there all the time.
And what's his channel?
Ron Stewart.
Ron Stewart. I will check him out.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to be talking about quite a few YouTube channels about traditional hot rods, and we will have a list down in the description below, everyone. So we'll put that one on there. I got to check. I didn't know about that one.
Oh, he's a good dude. We did a appreciation build for him a year ago or so, and there was a lot of people that built like 32s and stuff like that for him because that's his jam.
I know someone who's in the process of building a really nice 32, and he just can't get the lead out.
Yeah. Oh. Hey, I got it in clear.
Awesome. Yeah, that thing, I'm loving that build.
I got it in clear, and I'm like, dude, I cannot get away from the stupid dust particles getting into paint jobs. So
I feel you, man. It's almost next to near impossible in our environment that we paint in.
Especially if you're in the garage.
It's tough. It's a tough thing. But I'll tell you this, like as far as like I talked about, I don't start getting an interest in cars and really getting my knowledge and knowing probably starts to dip into around 55, when the 55 Chevy, I guess the day the pushrod V8 from Chevrolet came out, that's pretty much where I really start sparking. I know my Tri-5s, I know the 50s cars, the 60s cars, 70 cars, it goes on. I liked street rods, but
I just sent you a link. That's all.
Oh, that was you? It was beeping. That reminds me. I'm gonna turn my volume down on my because I'm gonna have to use this baby. Thank you for the link. We will send that down below.
And for Ron's channel,
yeah. So, I was never big fan of them. Of course we've talked about this. When I look at, would you call it pre-war cars, pre-World War II cars,
1920s,
the hot rod era, whatever, any of that. The only car that I ever really loved was the 40 Ford. So that's the only street rod, really. I got a few street rod models, but as you can see, majority of my models is 50s on up.
Right.
And I have over here, it's off camera, is one stack that's probably 6 or 7 high that are actually hot rod era cars. They would be 32s, 30s, 36, 37, 4s, whatever. I like to raid parts out of the Monogram 37 Ford. I've got quite a few of those kits just for parts. I actually one day kind of want to build one now, but I never really had a big interest in hot rods. As I've gotten older, I've started to notice them more and like them, and they look fun. And watching, in the past 6 years, getting heavy into watching YouTube, watching automotive content, started liking. And then for me, the kit that has been, this baby right here. When this kit came out, and between you and Mr. Throttle Power, the power of the throttle there, Tim Brown, oh, this is a great kit. And I bought this kit, and it's just been gnawing. I really want to get building on this. This is my 2023, one of my builds that I won't finish. And that kit, it's just like all of a sudden, I'm like getting into traditional hot rods. I'm really liking them.
They're beautiful machines.
Lots of videos on them.
They're beautiful machines.
They are beautiful. And that's really, that's what started it all. The whole hot rod story is so cool. And what those represent. And I bought, like, Revell came out with their whole series of 32 Fords, which your 32 Ford was the one, what is that? The 5-window coupe, or
I'm working on a 3-window one.
3-window.
It's this guy here.
Right. And that's the kit that kicked that tooling off. And then they did a whole bunch of other 32s after that. And I remember buying that kit because what was cool about it is it had a lot of late model hot rod stuff on it.
Right, yeah, because it's got like a 302 engine in there or something like that.
Yeah.
Got the 302 engine with the not sure what Ford uses for transmissions, but it's got the 3-speed automatic transmission in it, and then shorty headers, and it's all modern stuff.
It's got the hot rodded 9-inch rear end. It's got I think it's got bagged suspension too, doesn't it?
It does, yes.
Yeah. So that kit, when that kit first came out, and it was in those, and I still have it, it was in those horrific, what we call donut box style boxes. That's when I bought that kit when it came out, because everybody was talking about it. And I said, oh, okay. Yeah, those. Mm-hmm. So I have one of those.
It's all right.
And then I bought, when they came out with the one that was it would be where it's sedan, so it would have 5 windows. I don't know. It was a sedan. It was red.
Was it the
picture of the kit right there? You see that, BG? Can you see?
Oh,
that?
yes.
Okay.
A classic.
I bought that one because at the time when a group of us, Dave Bell and a couple buddies, we were going to do a group build of that kit when it came out, and I bought it and never, typical Luka Cee. They finished theirs. I didn't even start mine.
I'm sure you introduced the idea of building those cars, right?
Probably.
It seems like that's how it goes.
Always, usually. But yeah, I really want to build this car, and I want to get that 29 that you have, because isn't the 29 in this one kind of the same tooling, or off the same tooling, or?
You know what? I'm going to say no. So I think the 29. I think the 29 is all its own.
Mm-hmm.
All its own.
I have to get that kit, because I know this one here. What I found so fascinating about that is it has so many options, like to be 2 frames, because it could be a traditional high boy, or it could be a channeled one with a fabricated frame, and has different options of suspension and
and
now stuff in there to build 2 different models.
And the 30 has those different interior door cards, the little frames.
This one does too.
Yeah, I'm talking about this one.
Oh, I'm sorry. I will shut up now. It's your turn.
But yeah, like you got the optional top you can add on there, or if you want to keep it, keep it a chop, and then shows how often I dig through this. Yeah, so 2 different frames, door cards that are actually upholstered, and door cards that are not upholstered, they're just a raw frame. I think that's awesome. because I really like the, when they're all done up and pretty, those are cool. But I really love the ones that look like the welds are still cooling on them and they're
Yeah,
just rolled
I
out for
know
show.
that's that's the direction I'm gonna go with this baby right here. It's gonna be like not quite finished, but kind of like, it's finished.
Yeah.
Because that's how I am with my real cars. I never I think maybe once or twice in my life I had a car with that was finished with a nice paint job and all that. No, probably not. Unless I bought it new, and I never bought a new car. So
Well, that was me. I always got the cars looking good, and
yeah,
then they didn't run right,
yeah. I was
But something like this, you get it running right, and
mm,
that's all that matters. It's fully acceptable and I remember watching a show about hot rods, and one of the guys was saying that the term rat rod is kind of an insult to the way those cars are done,
yeah,
because what we're seeing, what they're at that time, this is back in the early 2000s, late 90s. At that time, the term rat rod was just becoming very popular to be used for vehicles that looked unfinished or rusty or whatever. And this old school hot rodder was like, no, they call them rat rods, but this is what a hot rod was. Something you rolled out of your shed, you put some wheels and tires on it, dropped in an engine, and then off you went to the salt flats and put down some timed
hmm
runs. But he's like, now everything's got to be polished and glossy and metallic and chrome and billet and all that kind of stuff. And he goes, that's what took over the term for hot rod. And then they had to go back and create a whole new term for what original hot rods were basically called. So I thought that was kind of an interesting thing.
yeah, definitely. I've heard that whole story before, and that is so true because that is probably a big thing because me coming into getting into cars, and when I got into building model cars in the 80s when I was just out of high school, and when I would see traditional hot rods or those years of hot rods, to me they were too blinged out. I never was a fan of chrome, and then when we got into late 80s early 90s when billet was everywhere, oh, I can't stand billet. I
when
cannot stand
when
it.
when billet ruled the earth.
Oh man, it was I was just so done. I'm sorry. Hey, I might get a lightning strike, but I was not a Boyd Cottingham fan. Could not stand his designs and could not stand his wheels. Did not like what he produced. I can't think of anything that interested me at all that came from that shop. And I was way ahead of my time because I was always driving ratty cars and trying to make them look cool with what I had. I was so ahead of my time. Jeez. And back then I always, well, I still don't get any respect, but I never got respect at the car hangouts. Everything was so flashy, and those cars were always to me over the top, where everything, control arms, they were like the road or the low rider
Yeah.
spectrum of model car hobby, which I almost have I got more respect for them with their art. I don't want to, geez, don't get me wrong about disrespect, but to me, it was these old guys with paychecks that paid hot rod shops. Lowriders, those guys built their stuff, or they went to shops, but the art form of it is where I respect lowriders. Not into them. I just can't get into them. They don't really this to me, but I respect that. But the hot rodders of the 80s of those, that pre-war era cars, to me, just nah, they just I don't know. It was like a
Well,
cake. It has a beautiful cake, and you cut into it and you put it on the plate, and the whole thing's frosting, and about that much down in the middle is actual cake.
that's when fiberglass was getting really popular,
Oh
right?
yeah.
So fiberglass car bodies, they became extremely affordable too.
Yeah.
So for the time,
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think they're affordable anymore.
But
But
and then
I'm like, all of a sudden, everybody had a 41 Willys gasser. I'm like,
yeah, that's right.
okay.
And a three window 30.
There was in the 1980s, 1990s, there was more Willys gassers rolling around than were actually originally made, probably.
Yeah. Good. Oh God, I love fiberglass.
Oh yeah.
Yep. And the thing with the flashy cars too is
Well, on this box art here for this 32 5 window, the yellow car right there,
yeah.
that to me is a 1980s build.
Yeah.
That's a straight up 1980s build.
80s,
All
90s.
it's missing is the little Tweety Bird decal on the window or something like
Yeah,
that.
no kidding. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that and we saw it in the 80s when I was getting going in model building, where I really just had my disdain for those cars. Ugh.
Disdain.
The whole chromed out thing of the 80s, pre aluminum billet everywhere, but everything was chromed out. Was it reflected into the hot rod models that were being produced in the 80s? And when I think of, the ones that came out from Revell, which were already nightmarish to build, but they had a gigantic chrome tree with a bunch of little chrome pieces, which you'd think, oh, that's so detailed, it was cool. But to me, it was tedious. It wasn't, they weren't well executed anyways, but to me, it was too much. And too much chrome in the model car world. Model car chrome, we all know, it sucks, and we didn't have the beautiful chrome paints that we have today. And you always had a deal, if you wanted all this chrome suspension, all this chrome garbage all over your 32 or 37, 32, 35. I don't.
Well, what
was it? Was it 30? They were up to 34. When did the Ford get this slanted?
Oh gosh, you know what? I'm not sure.
I actually had a friend of mine who was in
Mr. Tim would know.
Yeah, this old guy that lived across the street from me when I was young, building models. He asked me to build one of those Revell kits for him, and I hated every moment of it. And it was that, I guess it would have been the 34. I'll have a picture of it right there. I don't have the kit.
It's not here. Okay.
I remember I just couldn't stand that model with all that chrome, and it just looked hideous to me, and it really went together like a nightmare. But if you wanted to have all that chrome, you had to deal with leaving the parting lines. You couldn't take the parting lines off all the pieces and stuff. They were a drag. So that even propagated me. You like that? I don't know what the word means.
Propagated?
Propagated. It even got me going to where I just disliked those cars immensely back in those days. I'm like Mike Tyson trying to sound smart.
Keep digging that hole.
Oh man, Mike Tyson now, if he sees this, he's gonna, because he's a model builder and watches this all the time.
And he does live in the Phoenix area for half the year, so
I'm gonna get my jaw knocked loose off. Mad respect.
I think you have more people to worry about before you get to Mike Tyson doing that to you.
Isn't that the truth? But yeah, so it's been in recent years. I really got to say it's YouTube. When I started really getting into watching YouTube, say like about 2013, 14, and started finding all these awesome automotive shows that were on. And I started my appreciation of a lot of different automobiles started kicking off at that time. But I started watching these cool videos with guys with their hot rods, their traditional hot rods, and watching events, and these guys having a ball and cruising them. And I just really started liking the cars, and the fact that the hated rat rod era came, and so these cars started getting chilled out in the chrome. So not so much chrome, and they're more, these guys were into the heritage of it and being like it was the 40s and 50s and building the cars like their granddads built them.
Yep. I mean, just a frame up on some jack stands.
Yeah.
And then they just start bolting parts onto it.
Yeah. And then you also have nice ones that aren't overdone, that are like in the traditional hot rod era.
Oh no, that video link you sent me yesterday.
Yeah.
The guy down in Southern California that had that super dark green.
Yeah.
And he had the skinny tall tires on the back.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, that is an awesome look. That is such an awesome look. You don't need to have the big fat meats out there. Just the super tall tires in the back with the white walls. And I don't even, sometimes I don't even care what color the body is. Even if it's all one color, that's great. I don't even care what the body is. But that's like my single biggest I don't know if I can call it regret, but I guess I should say shame is that being so tall, I will never understand the joy of driving one of those cars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's a little. I could see that. That's even rough for a. You're tall. I'm round. Um,
Together, we look like the number 10.
yeah, we could open up a clothing store,
Yeah.
big and tall. So I'm the big guy. Yeah, that can get rough too. Just like there's no way I'll ever drive a Corvette. But yeah, definitely these the traditional hot rods, and it's so cool that so many years later we're talking. What is this? It's let me do.
40 years later.
I'm calculating in my head. This is really tough. What, we're 70 years from the 30s.
Oh, I thought you were coming from the 80s.
With 32. We're coming up to the 90-year mark. That's right. It was 90 years. They've been talking about it all year.
Thanks, Kim's Customs.
So when they started hot rodding those, so it'd be like about 70 years is when the traditional hot rod hit, after World War II.
Yep.
When the boys came home and they were itching for some adventure because they were all like this. And it's like, I got this cash in my pocket that the government gave me, and I'm going to go buy a car and tinker with it. And the 32 Ford was all over the place.
And I got Dad's car in the garage, and it's all rusted out, but I figured out how to get myself a 471 blower, and that's going on whatever engine I can find.
And we're going to go out there and kill everything, including ourselves. Right. So, because those guys were brave. They just went through the worst hell you could ever go through. So racing hot rods like that was nothing to those guys.
I had heard stories about how the motorcycle culture got very popular at that time.
Yeah. They were buying those surplus motorcycles.
It was fighter pilots coming home with their pay and the need for excitement, and the motorcycle world got big. Indians and Harleys and the motorcycle world back then. We just have Indians and Harleys right now here, right?
Yeah,
those are the only two traditional bikes that we have. There's a handful of other ones that are kind of niche, but back then, after World War II, they had so many more still.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And then they said that the hot rod world was being propagated by people that used to be bomber pilots or people that used to work on bombers, because they missed that sense of exhilaration. So, I mean, driving around in a 32, they didn't even lower the cars, then they just put truck tires on there and dropped on a blower or something like that, and then just ripped like hell all through town.
Yeah.
Looking for that rush that they used to get being in combat. So it's a very, very interesting type of thing. Interesting way of dealing with your PTSD.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because they didn't have the help.
No.
Yeah. That really is right there, the root of what sparked, really our culture, our car culture that we have today. And with YouTube, and it's crazy, even some young people are younger than us. We're not young people, but we would be considered young people in that world. But even real young people, man, there are some great channels and great videos out there that really teach us the history of it all. And we'll talk about that. But like right now, we're going to take a little break because Zoom is telling us to. And we will. Well, we'll come right back, right? We will, right? We promise?
I'll be here.
Oh, okay, I will too. What the heck? We'll see you guys in a few minutes. You're watching the Luka Cee channel on YouTube.
Today we're representing Firefly.
Right here.
Oh, where did you get that?
You know what this is?
Like a leaf on the wind. Is that from the Yahtzee game?
Sure is.
That's awesome. Linda got me the Christmas ornament a couple of years ago. Oh my God!
I had to stretch and put it back where it was next to my TIE Fighter and X-Wing and Droideka.
It's coming right at us.
Oh, geez, I haven't even brought that in.
Our Christmas
There we
tree
go.
has
Finally, we got
Firefly.
that.
My Christmas tree has Firefly, the Millennium Falcon represented a couple of times, the Enterprise from Star Trek the movie, and a couple of others that I cannot recall at this particular point in time. But yeah, it's a Starfleet.
Gotta have it. I know. I need to start getting. I'm starting to slowly get some stuff on our Christmas, especially with Felix getting into that stuff more now. Oh, that's a whole other story. That kid, wow, what he's
gonna have Eddie on top.
He's been blooming a lot in the past couple of weeks. He's been doing some pretty amazing things. But anyways, that was all great, funny content and interesting. Heck, we'll leave it in. Hi, people, we're here. You already noticed that. You dare me?
I dare you. I triple dog dare you.
Whoa! Anyways, I want to get into a part of this subject that we are discussing that just to forewarn everyone out there, I want to talk a little bit more. We're going to get off the model car subject. And we're going to talk about the real stuff. We kind of have been already, but I want to give you guys a little bit of reference that if you're into building these models, here's some great stuff to look at, or if you weren't aware of it, it's really cool. And I just wanted to bring this up to you. So we're going to, again, in the description below, we're going to have links to all these videos I want to talk about and channels. But to start it off, there's one particular car that I think was something that I never noticed. Or this, I knew who this guy was because he was a big name in automotive journalism over at Hot Rod, was Gray Baskerville. He passed away in 2002, and I was on a road trip in an RV, so I had time to sit and read, and we stopped somewhere, and I saw that magazine, his 32 Roadster. It wasn't, I guess you could say it's traditional hot rod, but, kept the fenders on. He drove it every day. It was his daily driver. They did back, I think in the 70s, I think they did a paint on it, and they did it in Hot Rod Magazine, whatever. It was just red. It wasn't great paint, and it was starting to fade, and he had like little primer spots on it, all that stuff. And he kind of brought in, hey, this is the guy at Hot Rod. I don't know what position when he passed away, he still was taking pictures. But I think he started with them from the 50s. He was like the main photographer. Most famous Hot Rod Magazine photographs were probably taken by Gray. And he was like, one of the executive editors or top guys there at Hot Rod by the time he passed. And he was definitely, so he definitely he could have a beautiful car, and he had the big, he kind of brought in that with the hot rodders is, screw it. Just drive it and enjoy it. I don't care. And everybody when are you going to paint that car? Because I don't care. I love it. And he drove that thing everywhere. Yeah. And that was something that it even resonated with me, where I was kind of like, I was driving a ratty Camaro. I loved my car. I'd go to the car shows and wouldn't get any respect. This was, nobody looked at my car. They never do because they're always garbage. But I loved it, and I had to kind of go, why am I giving a crap anymore? I enjoy. I'll make it nice as best as I can, what I can afford, and I'm going to flat out enjoy this thing. And I think that's a great hot rod attitude. And he just encapsulated that. But that car is so cool. And I sent you the pictures of it. And first thing you said is you loved how it had that primer on the fender there. That's kind of
the first thing that caught my eye, and I was like,
and I'll tell you, when I did my 40 Ford, the whole spirit of that car was an influence on the finish of my 40 Ford we did last year, the 40 Ford build, where I had those kind of worn fenders. You could see the primer showing through and all that stuff. And I just like, because you looked at if you look at the primer, it's been on there so long. It's the gray oxide primer. It's been on there so long, and he washes the car. So
Yeah.
the primer's buffed and kind of got almost the same sheen as the regular red paint. I just think that brings such
Right.
character to a car. You know,
There's just
it's
there's
true.
just a little bit of chrome. There's just a little bit of chrome on
Yeah.
it, not much. And he's got the off-white wheels, and
Yeah.
they're staggered wheels too. They're staggered wheels,
Mm-hmm.
and he's got the off-white steelies on there with some beauty rings and some dog bowls, and that thing
Yeah.
is
Car has the look.
sweet. And I'm blown up the picture. I'm taking a look, and it looks like he's got a column shifter in it.
I think so. Yeah. I think so.
I mean, like, that's insane. Driving around a car like that with a column shifter. You know?
Yeah, it was all about I cruise it, dude.
Yep.
And
I freaking love this.
and he had a
when I first opened up the first picture where you have the nose on shot, right?
uh-huh.
I was like, well, that's pretty cool looking pedal car, because that looks like a barn find pedal car, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a second. Oh no, this thing has got some style to it.
Yeah, it was I tell you, there's tons of YouTube videos on him, there's tons of articles on it. He was kind of a really, I mean, he was hot rod, man. That guy, I mean, he was the magazine. He was a big part of the magazine. He was a big part of the culture. And I think his attitude of it all is really what hot rodding is all about. And we took it
license
right to the end. And Peterson, they put it in it's his car's in the museum there. And
that's awesome. I hope to see that sometime.
Yeah, I want to see that car big time. That was an important, a car that kind of influenced me in model building and in my real car world, like what I said. And I think that I remember when that article came out, that was about the time that don't worry about it being so shiny attitude kind of started. It really flowed through the whole culture to what we have today. And I kind of agree with you, like what you said earlier, that whole calling the traditional hot rods rat rods. And yeah, I've never been a fan of the whole rat rod thing. And then rat rod almost gets cued like modern, well, I'm going to rat rod this thing out. Rat rods are something totally different. That really has turned into they build these artsy thing. It's almost like an artsy thing, they build
it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy where you create a term to describe something because the term that they used to use for that is now being reused someplace else.
Yeah.
Like street rods became hot rods.
Yep.
Right. So then it's like, well, if this is a hot rod, then what's this? What are these old junk piles that people run around? What are these things called? Well, those are rat rods,
Yeah.
And then the old school hot rodders are like, well, actually, this is what a hot rod is supposed to be. What you have there is a polished up street rod thing. And then the rat rod community came by. It was just like, well, if these are supposed to be rats, then let's rat them out. And then, like you say, it went into a whole like an artistic expression type of deal. Or I mean, like we've all been to car shows and we've seen these things that are 2 inches off the ground and they have bullets and stuff sticking out of them and some really cool stuff.
Yeah, it's amazing. I one time went over to check out a truck I was going to buy this guy, and he had a rat rod parked on the side. Didn't even put it in the garage. It didn't deserve it. It was rusting out that on purpose. He wanted it to get all seasoned, but he built this thing. I don't know. I think it was some sort of might have been a truck thing. I don't know. It was really cool. Running, he drove it. But what was funny about it is, I go, man, the rails for the frame were just gigantic, round thing. He goes, those are telephone or, metal telephone poles or something like that. He actually had got a hold of them. They were ridiculous. But it gave the character of this thing. Cause I think it was based off of an old Mack truck or something. Cause it was a big truck. It had giant truck tires in the back. But those things that kind of became the whole rat rod thing,
Yeah.
So where are we?
Yeah, I like the ones with the patina.
Yeah. So now I guess so it's kind of like what we call this episode is, I guess now these are kind of coined as, whether they're painted up nice or, patinaed, they're just traditional hot rods now. Is that kind of what they're coining them? I don't know.
I think you might be right, because we're getting to the point now where the word traditional is coming up in a lot of different genres.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, this is a traditional this is a traditional that. I mean, even the world of pizza, we got traditional pizza. But and that's a whole other episode right there. But I know, yeah, the traditional hot rod. I think that's kind of a it's the best way to describe it right
Yeah,
now.
definitely. I have some suggestions here, some YouTube channels and some YouTube videos to look at. And there's also another car that I told you a little bit about there, Bud. But there was this car that it probably was the granddad of the Highboy. And if you don't know why they call them Highboy, take a 32. Usually it would be a Roadster, right? Yeah. Just completely, yeah, right there, the Highboy, the 32 Highboy. The whole point of it is that body's on top of the frame. That gives it that Highboy. They take the fenders off. They strip it down to make it as light. Those were like your traditional kind of race cars. It was like this kind of where the rail eventually evolved from. Because then they started stretching the frame and building their own frames and taking their Highboys, and when they were racing on the track. So that the Highboy was almost like your street racer. But there was one in particular that is kind of the famous one that really, really kicked that styling off, was the McGee Roadster. And the McGee Roadster, which here's a video. There's the thumbnail. I'll put it right there, and the description down below. You see that? And that's a great video on the whole history of the McGee hot rod. And also Jay Leno, about 7 or 8 years ago, did a great video on the McGee Roadster. It was the first street car, street driven car and hot rod on the cover of Hot Rod magazine. Very first. I don't know what issue it could have been. It was like in the early years. It was the 40s. I think it was 49 when this happened. But before that, all the covers of Hot Rod magazine was mostly, Hot Rod was centered around what was going on at Bonneville. That was the thing, or time trials, or what eventually evolved into drag racing. But everything before that was a shot of a car at the Bonneville Salt Flats or a dry lake. So this was the first car sitting on the street, driving down. It was black and white, but it was this beautiful red Roadster. And it was the McGee Roadster. And go watch those videos to get more history on that. That was the car that really shot it all off. There is a great video. I sent the link to you. You watched it. That video that was, there's this race in New Jersey called the Race of Gentlemen.
Oh, yes.
And I sent you that video. Here's that right there. The link is down in the description below. You guys got to check this video out. Not sure who did the video. Let me pull it up and give some credit here.
Adam Kaufman from what's that, Gas Monkey Garage wanted to go race in that. Wanted to build something to go race in that.
Yeah, that's right. That's why it sounded familiar.
And he did, and he said it was a blast and a half or something like that.
Oh yeah, it's like totally, you go there and it is like 1949 there. And
yeah,
there's a YouTube channel called Motor House. Yeah.
HOUSE or
Motor House, and they did this fantastic, really well done, well produced video called Raceday at the Race of Gentlemen. The race of whatever. What did I say? It goes, my phone dies on me. But the Race of Gentlemen. And holy cow, everyone, go check that video out. If you want to get your traditional street rod on and get all amped to build a model, that is the thing. Because this is what the base is. This is where we're still the model car guys. Even we're talking about real cars, but what inspires us to build our models? You know, we look at pictures. We now get on YouTube and get inspired by watching this stuff. So I'm telling you these things to let you guys check it out, to get inspired to build. You know,
if I remember correctly, that Race a Gentleman, they can't have anything on their vehicle that is newer than 1929 or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, I guess it has. Yeah, it has to be. It has to be
engine block, everything.
Race.
Engine block, everything.
On the beaches in New Jersey, so it's beach racing. I mean, that's cool. That's like old school drag racing.
Well, that's what they used to do, the time trial stuff.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, the real world definitely inspires our models. Okay, I'm done. Take over. Let's talk about model kits now.
Are you really done?
Probably.
I don't think I say anything for 15 minutes.
I saw you were glazing up.
Yeah,
glazing.
I checked out there. I was just listening to the Luka show. So one of the kits I have here on my stack is one that I don't think gets much love right now, and that is this guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean 3-in-1, awesome parts. Yeah, it's got a 4-cylinder engine.
It's got a what?
It's got a 4-cylinder inline engine.
Really?
Yeah, but you don't. I mean, this comes with speed parts, so you can jazz it up if you want to. I think it's an underrated kit.
You know,
matter of fact, the wheels and tires from this here are some beautiful looking Steelies with and staggered.
Oh yeah.
I had one of these a long time ago. It didn't turn out very well. I kept the wheels and tires. That ended up on my 40 Ford.
Oh, no kidding. That's right. I remember that. That's where those wheels and tires were cool.
Those are awesome.
Now I got to buy that kit. You know, that's a kit that I have, you know, again, not being that interested in that stuff. Something about the box art gives it a toyish look. I don't think they did right on the box art. They correct it. I
think there might be a Rat Fink version of this. I don't remember if Revell had the Rat Fink, the Big Daddy Ed Roth thing or something like that. I don't remember if they had the licensing for that, but at least I know who it is. Yeah, and I think they did like a Rat Fink version of this guy here too. And yeah, this does look kind of toyish, and it's it's kind of too bad because it's actually a really cool kit.
Is it any relation to the 29 Ford kit? The one on the black, that's black on the box?
Nope. I think these are completely different toolings.
Wow.
Completely different toolings. But a couple different. I mean, this even has opening doors.
No kidding.
Yeah, so it got opening doors, and then here's your.
Oh wow! Nice traditional hot rod tires.
Oh yeah,
with the white wall insert.
You and I might need to talk about these.
We can talk about them.
Good.
Anytime you want. I'm always here for you, BG. Always here.
One of the things about this kit is you have several different types of wheels options in this one here, but you only got one set of tires.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah. And you know what's funny is I was never really into the track style nose.
Yeah.
Until I started building the midget racers. Revell has a midget racer kit. Where is that?
Do you have a midget racer?
I do. I have one built. It's not in this room. I can't run out and grab it real fast. But
you know those midgets. I remember when they hit. It was kind of like a big deal.
They were, and
apparently it was a big flop because Tim Brown from Throttle Power to the Throttle, he actually was talking to Ed Sexton from Revell at one of the shows, and he talked about that Curtis midget.
Yeah.
And Ed said it didn't do well and we'll never see it again.
Really?
Yeah.
Because that had an awesome engine, an excellent frame. It came with a silly little trailer that was just perfect. As a matter of fact, I built mine as a tribute build for Ron Stewart.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that is such a cool kit. And yeah, I don't think we're ever going to see it again. I only bought one. Man. Now I wish I would have bought a couple more. But
there was like 3 different versions of it.
And yeah, and I know, and it came with a little trailer. And I know when the word gets out, now that I just said that, the prices are going to skyrocket because it's never coming back.
Well, they were already.
So hopefully
they're
Revell
already going for $30-$40.
Yeah, hopefully Revell will put it back out just to spite everybody.
Yeah.
When they start seeing them sell like for crazy on.
It came with photo etch belts for the hood.
What's that?
Came with photo etch belts for the hood, so you can hold the hood down.
Oh yeah.
Photo etch steering wheel insert.
Yeah, that's right. And to me, I made a part. Dave Bell mastered a beautiful cowl. I want to say cowl hood, but everybody will think cowl hood.
Yeah.
Like
cowl induction. Yeah.
No, but the hood on the midgets there, it just went up to the driver hole pod, whatever, and then there was a windscreen. But if you remember, some of them would have
some fairing.
A fairing. Thank you. So he mastered a really nice one for me, and I used to cast it. And I was wondering if it was ever going to come out because I'd love to bring that out. But when I put that out, it was a hot seller for me. I sold a bunch of them. That's why I find it really hard to believe that wasn't that successful of a kit. But, their idea of success and what we think is successful, I don't know. Maybe they put too many out. That's probably why these model companies need to limit what they put out and let them sell.
Oh God, yeah. Well, it only made $1 million. It didn't make $1.5 million.
Yeah, exactly. So,
okay, now I got to find out where that kit's at.
Yeah, that was a cool. Hey, it's still kind of on subject because of what it is in the era that it comes from. People, so don't beat us up. We take off ramps.
Off ramps. Nope. Aha! Eureka! Pay dirt.
Sweet, good, because mine's right there. But if I pull it, my whole stack's going to come down. So.
And the flowers are still standing.
Sweet. See, I've got the black one. I've got the one that has what I liked about it is it had the little flathead, the small flathead V8. Where this one, what engine is in this one that you got?
This actually has equipped with the V8. Really? An Edelbrock equipped V8.
Yeah.
I did one that had a 4-cylinder in it.
Yeah, I can't remember what the differences were between the two. Yeah, both of them. I guess they both were created with the
here's the photo etch.
Beautiful.
Polish, back a like a chrome finish to it. And I was like, "Oh wow, cool! It's got staggered tires in there, right?" No, two of those are the trailer wheels.
Yes.
But like this thing, it looks like a freaking football helmet. That's it.
Yeah. There you go. Love it. Yeah,
love it.
That's the fuel cell.
And yeah, this one does have the V8 engine in it. I did the one for Ron had the 4-cylinder engine in it, and I even plumbed and wired it too.
Yeah, so I mean, I have the black one, and it says it's got the Edelbrock equipped V8 60. So I guess that was the cubic inch was 60 cubic inches.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's a good point. I just had the idea of taking the engine from this guy,
yes,
and dropping it into one of these.
That would be super cool. So what might have to happen is there might have to be a resin copy of that engine since that kit isn't around anymore.
Well, that's why I wanted to talk to you about it.
Awesome.
Secrets are out.
Well, I tell you, we're going to have to take a quick break and then we can finish this all up because Zoom is about to tell us go away now.
Yeah.
And we'll be right back after these messages.
Oh, so many things to click on. There we go. Spend my whole life clicking on things.
We're back.
And we're back.
Thank you very much. So, yeah. Any other models to show us? I don't have many of these things, but
you don't.
Well, no, like I said, wasn't big into getting them.
I didn't even realize it, but it says
Yeah. See, I remember when that kit came out, that was something that I remember some people going, that's not a rut rod.
Not a rat rod.
Just because it's still in primer doesn't make it a rat rod.
Exactly.
I agree.
Sometimes you just can't choose a color, so primer it is, right?
That's what it goes.
This guy.
I've never done that.
This guy right here wasn't a fan of high boys until I was watching that TV show back in the day, back in the 90s, called Horsepower TV.
Remember it well. Was it on Speed Vision?
It was on TNT or TNN.
TNN.
Sundays on TNN. They had their Power Block TV thing. It was like
Power Block.
It was like Sunday morning cartoons for gearheads.
Yeah, no kidding. That's right.
They got a couple of tank top bunnies in there that would host the shows and stuff. But the guys that were on the Horsepower TV, they built a I think it was a fiberglass body, one of these. I'm like, I don't really like the look of that. The proportions of the body to the wheel was just a little too high, all that kind of stuff. And then when they got done building theirs and they painted it yellow, they had done a purple bench seat inside there, purple leather or something like that, tuck and roll on the doors, and it was all in purple or like a dark lavender or something. And I remember looking at that just going, you know what? That is nice and clean. I think they dropped in a 302. And I'm like, that is just nice. And that would be like something you could just drive to work or something like that on an odd Friday or something like that. You know, I thought that is just awesome. So that got me started on the high boys. And at that particular point in time, this kit was available. So I had to go out and snag it. And I have yet to build it.
Was that kit was it related to the other 32s?
I don't believe this one is either.
It's totally its own thing.
I think this one might be its own thing. The body, it's hard to see with the white plastic and stuff.
Yeah.
Body looks really good. So the trunk lid is actually centered, unlike the other 32 kit.
We're not going to talk about that, are we?
We're not going to talk about that. Yeah, we're just going to ignore that. But I have some. I do have some Zimmerman wheels that we're going to be using on this guy.
Yeah. Ah, geez, now I'm going to have to buy that kit now. I like those wheels.
I did pick up a resin top online from the eBays.
Ooh, nice. That looks really nice.
It does look really good. I need to bring it over so you can take a look at it. It does fit fairly well. It's a little wider than the actual window is, but I don't know if that's supposed to be so much wider on the front.
I don't know. I don't know enough about those. I'm not going to make any judgment calls.
Well, how about this? If somebody has actually watched this far along into the video, if they see that and they know how these little canvas roofs are supposed to fit on these 32 bodies, let us know if they actually stick out wider than the window frames, because it looks like something that would lift off with speed type of thing. So there's that guy. And then, of course, we already showed the 32. I got this. I did a swap with my buddy Glenn over at Model Cars with Glenn.
Mm-hmm.
Sent him the Johan Lark kit. He returned the favor with this guy here. So I was like, dude, this is awesome.
Yeah,
this is awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna have that kit for sure.
Oh yeah, you got to get this kit, and then of course, I'm working on one of these already, and I had to buy a second one. You know,
yours has got me wanting to get on to my. I got that one. I started on 20 years ago, and I was making a lot of room because I had this vision of it being low and have the widest tires I could fit in those wheels. The fenders, I mean, wheel well thing jobs. And
the stance on that thing is such a hot rod stance that you can't really do much with the wheels and tires unless you take the fenders off.
Oh, yeah.
They're right up inside there.
Some cutting and grinding to make it happen. Let me tell you.
Right.
And I think that's why I stopped, because you're right. I couldn't take it that far.
Mm-hmm. So I put some Zimmerman wheels on the one that the green one I'm working on.
Yeah, gosh. And
they're like right in there. I mean, if it hits a bump, that's coming through the fender. So
yeah,
and then, of course, you have this one.
I have. It's right there.
Cool. And then, do you have this one?
Not that one.
Okay. Now I've actually heard this is a real car. This is actually a real vehicle. I did not know that.
Yeah, when that one came out, Dave Bell got all excited about it because he knew the car. Because Dave Bell's old.
That wasn't at the Hot Rod Hall of Fame, was it?
I think so. Dave even told me a story about that devil face with the weird eyes on the front.
Yeah.
That was a big deal. I think it's a Von Dutch creation.
That would be fascinating to know.
Yeah.
A guy that was a master at his profession but didn't care for it.
Yeah.
Aren't we all? You never like what you're good at.
Yeah. But there was do you have any more of those? Because there was I have one, it's tucked away over there. I didn't think about pulling that one out. Was again, I think it was red on the box, and there was the sedan version they did.
Oh no, see that's all I've got. Is that like the Phaeton?
I think
or Phaeton or the Vicky?
A Phaeton. I don't know what I again don't know much. I don't know what I've seen the word. I don't.
I've seen the word, but I can't pronounce it. No, the other thing I have in AMT is like Model Ts.
Yeah, I got a couple of AMTs. I've got a 32 Vicky AMT, and it's like late 70s vintage, and the AMT was having an issue back in that era. Their plastic was horrible, and if you start sanding on it, it starts delaminating and being real fibrous, and that kit just went poo-poo on me. So
that's too bad.
I sent it. I have it still. It's cool box art, but that's all it is. It's over there.
Oh yeah. Speaking of cool box art, do I have a box flap of it?
I have a lot of things that are cool box art.
Talk about being suckered in on cool box art. I was working on the video for that when we started doing this, so I got to finish that still.
Yeah, that's a.
But Oy vey Maria.
That's something of a kit. Yeah, I had that kit. I bought the kit when it came out. Shot a video about that kit. I don't remember why, and I decided not going to bother with it. And then it became the kit that I threw in to the our kit exchange in the club.
Oh, really?
That's what I get. And then the funny thing is, Big Bob got it.
But he's a Mustang man.
And he's a Mustang man, so he hates me. We were friends, but now there's problems. And the funny thing is, though, I can hate him back because I got his kit that he threw in that 63 Corvette.
The AMT?
The AMT Corvette. That, again, love that box art. I'm keeping the box. Yeah. I hate that kit. I hate it. I'm not a fan of it.
Do you need to sub that out so that you can get it done for Christmas?
I'll have it done for Christmas because I'm going to cheat a lot.
Oh, okay.
It's probably going to be a 2-day build because I haven't, since the last time I showed it on the channel, I haven't touched it. Whoops.
Do you want to see my Christmas build?
Hey, let's, are we done with this subject then? Is there any more to cover? And we can maybe do a little bit of talking a couple of things before the end?
I think we're done.
Okay. I hope you guys enjoyed that. The subject of the show, the meat of the show.
Right.
Please, just in the description below, we want to hear from you guys. Go over to our Facebook group. If you haven't joined, please join. And go on there. You have any ideas, shows you want to see us do? You have anything you want to post or your model that you built from any of these kits we talked about? Your visions of the traditional hot rod, and it doesn't have to be a Ford, by the way. It's just the traditional hot rod.
Right.
Please do. And
I'm hoping that this topic garners some response and some conversation.
Absolutely. That's what
this is something that people are very passionate about.
Very much so. So in the description below, we have a link to the Model Car Guys on YouTube Facebook group. Please join. Have fun. Yeah, that's about that for that. And we're ending the subject. It's over with. No more talk about traditional hot rods. So
let me show you my traditional hot rod.
I love that.
So it's got a couple little nibs in the roof there, but we're so close.
I gotta say it again, man. I really love that color.
It's a Gundam color.
Yeah, that's yeah. Again, out of the box, guys. Think out of the box. Go
Okay,
check
so
out the military colors, the Gundam colors.
oh yeah, a military color with some gloss on top of it.
Outstanding, outstanding.
Okay, you ready?
I'm ready. Sock it to me. Whammo! Ooh, you got it all cleared.
Yep.
The Go Mango, huh?
Oh yeah, and then this thing in the sunlight it's an eye popper for sure. Even did the chassis.
Ooh, the chassis.
Yep.
Looking
And
good, friend.
thank you. And then the forest of parts.
No.
I even cleared the roll bar because I was mentioning that there was a hockey goal post in there.
Yeah.
So,
That's a
switched
roll
over to the
bar.
one out of the dart kit. So we'll do the semi-gloss painting for all the pads and stuff on there, and then start getting the interior. But got to do a little bit of polishing, on the body, and then we're off to the races. But dude, I'm telling you that these two colors together are like freaking chocolate and peanut butter.
No kidding.
They are a good color combination.
That is a crazy. Now, with your 32, you're going with black fenders on it, right?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I have example. Excuse me, right here.
Lovely. Yeah.
Oh, hey, let's put them together.
Yeah, let's. That is just that's sexy.
It's the bee's knees right there.
Car sexy. I like it.
I had to redo the trunk because the trunk that I had built for it was askew, which was causing it to sit cockeyed and sort of wonkified and stuff. So
you de-wonkified then?
I de-wonkified it. Yep.
Awesome. That looks beautiful. I love your color. You know what would be that color that of the body would look really good with cream also.
Oh yes. It has crossed my mind. As a matter of fact, I was thinking about doing cream colored steelies on this guy, but I couldn't find anything I liked. So I'm like, oh, I'm under a time limit. I got to get this done. 6 months later.
Please.
Supposed to be done in July.
The whole group build thing.
Well, here's something about the group build thing, right? I'm facing group build burnout. Some of the guys out there like Fred Henry and Jeff Cincanelli, they kind of joke with me and they're like, "Oh yeah, you're Mr. Group Build. Is that what BG stands for? Big group build guy."
Yeah.
But when I was getting started with model building and YouTube channel stuff, group builds were the saving grace of everything because it made me actually attack the stack and get some stuff built, and which was fun. But now I've gotten to a point where I'm like, I want to elevate my build skills. I feel like it's time to move on to the next level. And sometimes working under a deadline doesn't suit that. So I'm like, I refer to this kit as my Chucky Buster. I want to put this next to something that Mr. Chuck puts on a table and see how it does, So I'm putting everything I can into that. And with this guy here, I was just like, you know what? We can do a really good job with this and just make it look fast and sleek and sexy and pretty and all that stuff. So let's go for it. Don't worry about the deadline. Be inspired and follow that inspiration to the very end.
Yeah, but you got to worry about the deadline on that one.
Well, yeah,
it even got pushed back a month.
I got pushed back about this, right? Well, I want to get it done for Model Zoda.
Model Zoda, no. Oh boy, you really put a deadline on yourself then, because
let's see here. Let's just look at the calendar. I have a countdown. 11 days. 11 days counting today till Model Zona.
Yeah. Oh, that brings up a quick story that you already know about. I text you crying. I was working on my found kit, the Fast Eddie Sharpman Mercury Comet, and I really was so happy with the engine when I originally built it, and I got pictures of it right there. Well, over time, with it being in that box and getting slammed around, 3 moves, 7 years in the box, some pieces broke off that engine, off the carburetor, the some of the linkage and some of the took pieces of the carburetor off with it, with the fuel lines. So I was trying to fix that, and I was working like an hour on that thing or longer, and I was getting nowhere fast. And it's just like, once that stuff breaks off, it never looks as good. And I kind of got it finished, and I was like, I don't like it. It looks horrible. And it's just like, I was like ready to put the model. Stuff like that makes me put models back in a box. And I launched those texts to you. I was crying, and I called Chucky. Well, Chucky had a bigger disaster than me, so he was like, "Oh, really? You're barking up the wrong tree here, buddy. Because let me tell you what happened to me, and I'm not going to tell." Ooh, I went all fuzzy. I'm not going to tell anybody out there right now what happened with Chucky and what he's working on, because that dude is a rescuer of disasters. And so he inspired me. I'm still working on it. I'm going to get this thing done for ModelZona, I hope.
Chuck's like, this is going pretty well. I need to do something to create some drama for this build. Let me just try polishing the body with some paint thinner.
Yeah, he does that kind of stuff.
Wah, wah.
But I'll tell you what, and again, I'm not going to release what happened with Chuck. He's going to, it's a secret.
I hope he does a video on it.
He's not. But all I know is you'll never know, and it is, I think he should, because it's inspirational as hell. Maybe this video will get him, because he just kind of wants to, maybe later he will. So that's why I'm not going to say anything, because he wants to continue on with like nobody knows. He's probably going to be mad at me that I said this, but I got to say, hey, Chuck, your talk was, talking to you on the phone yesterday was incredibly encouraging and valuable. And it made me go, yeah, I gotta not be such a crybaby.
I commend you for that, because so many of us out there could be like, well, that sucks to be you. Sorry, man.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
But if you've been there, you felt that pain, and you're like, yeah.
I
am sorry.
He's an inspiration. Like you said, the guy is, whether you can build a model that, you set this goal that, my goal is I want to get to a level that I can compete with Chuck and maybe beat him. And I've had friends like that, as long as it's kept fun. It doesn't create anger, because I've seen that happen where there's some people that get like that. All of a sudden they start hating the person. I don't see, you're not that kind of person. I'm not that kind of person. It's all in love. And my thing is that driving force in our little local group here, that we strive to go up against him. Whether we ever do it, it doesn't matter, but it keeps us bringing our levels up, because that.
Well, yeah. And I say I want to go, Chucky Buster or whatever, but in all seriousness, no, though, he is extremely inspiring to me, which is why I want to do better, right? And when I bring something like the 32 to one of the Mafia meetings, and he's scoping it out, he's like, dude, you just have to do a couple of little things here and there.
Yeah.
And he gives me the pointers that he's talking about. And he's like, go online, check this place out. These are the parts you need, all that kind of thing. And he's basically telling me everything I need to do, just short of actually doing it himself while he's looking at the thing. Felix!
We're busted.
And are we going over? We're going over.
Yeah, it's okay. He's just didn't mind us, but it's all okay.
But short of doing that to the car himself type of thing, I'm like, man, he's right. All I got to do is just those couple little things.
Yeah. It's good to have someone around like that inspires you. I tell you, if I didn't have, the way it was a few years ago, and I didn't have my model car buddies, I would just chuck that model back in the box and forget about it for another 7 years or so.
Right. And do you look at your peers as competition or as inspirational?
Exactly. I
say if you look at people, if you look at your peers as being inspirational, you'll enjoy this hobby for forever.
So much so, yes.
And if you look at your peers as competition, you're going to start running out of peers.
Yep. Yes. So true. Wow. Anything else?
That's my nugget of gold for the day.
That was a pretty nice, good chunk.
Oh, there is something that's been weighing heavily on my mind that I wanted to talk about.
Do it.
Some of us turned 50 last weekend.
Oh! I saw that.
It's showing.
How's it feeling? I did that 7 years ago or 6 years.
My sister says the 50 is the new 49.
Hey, whatever gets you through it.
Yeah, I'm like 1949 or
Yeah, so you're actually 4910 right now.
yeah.
Does that work? And then next year you'll be 49. So that makes me 4917. I don't know. Let's not go down there. Oh, I can't remember if I'm 50.
49 and 17 would make you 67 years old.
What's that?
49 and 17 would make you 66 years old.
I don't know. I don't know how it works. I'm not good at math.
Well, you got to drop the one and then so you don't have to carry that. And is that Denise?
It is.
Is she wrangling Felix's?
Program director wrangler. All right. Well, I want to just say to everyone out there, you like this show. You want to be a supporter of this show. Do that. That guy and this guy and that little guy there, and what the heck? And the wrangler. You know, we got bills to pay in this and this thing. We have got over at down in the description below. You can go to Teespring and look up the Teespring store for the channel. We have got some great merch for this show. We have an excellent Model Car Guys shirt and mug for you guys. Go check it out. Prices are outstanding, probably the cheapest of all the other YouTubers. But it helps the show out. Every cent counts. And
not saying names.
And we are these shirts are cool, man. You want to sport it, it's you know, it's our logo. It'll show that you care. And it's a great shirt to run around to all the model car shows and your club meetings, and people go, "Hey, what's this Model Car Guys thing?" Because you go, "Well, hey, they're on YouTube, man."
Yeah, guys, check it out.
Check it out.
I need to get one of those shirts. Matter of fact,
I got you handled. Don't you worry. I got special ones for us.
Oh, sweet.
Gonna come.
Does it say staff on the back?
Yeah, I could make sure of that.
Staff or talent.
Anyways, yes,
Perfect.
Please go check out the merch store. Get your Model Car Guys on YouTube t-shirt or mug.
They make great Christmas presents.
They do for the modeler in your life.
Yes.
And well, heck, man, we haven't done this for a while. This was fun. This was probably a long show with great subjects, and we just loved it. Yeah, really. And thank you all for watching. If you made it this far, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah,
you earned yourself a cookie. Help yourself. I'm having
really. Gosh, we're gonna continue on. We're gonna be on it more now. Just this past couple months have been a little zany for both of us, and winding up summer. A lot of things going on. Family trips.
Yep.
Visitations. Computer problems.
Hauntings.
We're on it. We're rolling now.
Yeah.
And as you can see, you know, you'll see that this was shot like within a few days of you watching it right now. Because look at BG's calendar. Point to the day. Yeah, because if you saw in the last episode, if you watched it the day it finally aired, and he was pointing out the date, it was like 2 months prior. So that one was a little late. We're not going to do that no more.
No, I have to give you props for sticking with it and saving that video, because that was one of my favorite videos.
Yeah, it was a good video. It was worth saving. You
guys have no idea. You guys have no idea what he went through. This guy to try and salvage that video, because I mean, every other day it was, I saved it. Oh my god, I'm gonna kill myself. I saved it. Oh my god, I'm gonna throw myself off a roof. I saved it. Oh, I'm gonna set myself on fire. You know, it's just like, so was it saved or what?
Sometimes I have tenacity for things.
Really, I don't understand what the issue is.
It was crazy. It was so insane what was happening. I added that thing.
I'm like Elsa over here. I'm like, let it go. Let it go.
Yeah.
He's like, no.
I couldn't do it. And it turned out to be a really, really good shoot.
A really good show.
Yeah. Really good shoot. Well, we didn't hit the I put it over here like halfway through the show, and we didn't hit the stapler much.
Not much.
We
No.
went off the rails too much on this one.
Well, that's what happens when you have a script.
Good show. So I can't remember. How do we close these things out?
Well, we're going to head over to Andy's.
There you go. Let's head over to Andy's.
By way of Taco Bell.
But wait, it's Taco Tuesday for us.
That's right.
You want to go to Taco Bell too?
I do.
Ooh, I don't. Ooh. Okay, I can do it.
Taco Tuesday means calling
Taco
off work.
Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday means calling off work Wednesday.
Yeah. Calling off work Wednesday. All right, so let's go to Andy's.
Let's go to Andy's. Here's the producers. Please enjoy them. Watch till the end. Bye now.
Laters.
Actually, I have one last thing.
Fantastical.